Everybody, thank you for watching. It's been a few months since I've started doing more online. It's been going really well. I've made a lot of new friends and a lot of new contacts, and I've been doing a lot of different things. Came off the back of the inheritance tax announcements, and for years, as most of you know, I'd had a shop, retail business with the farm, and I spent most of my time just trying to get people through the door. Excuse me, and just trying to build the business and sell our produce. Over the years, I've done different things, talks, etc. I've done stuff in the media. I've written articles. I've been on podcasts, but it's all been to drive sales, really. So this was quite a new experience for me lately, speaking and acting on behalf of a group, and that group being farmers, but it also extends to my other passion, which is food for the public. The thing I get asked the most since I've been doing a lot of these different jobs is how can you help farmers? I get asked this a lot. How can we help? It's a really tough one because your support is always welcome. That's one thing. So if you want to help farmers that way, that's great. That really works. But there's other things as well that I have been trying to think of, because generally farming has this whole kind of feeling of impending doom at the moment, where only the people in farming understand what's going on to some extent. The government don't fully understand what's going on within farming, and the public who are supportive understand it well, and the public who are unsupportive, I truly believe, are unsupportive because they don't understand it. I feel that my job now is to, so for myself, build my farm to a level where it can survive without intervention from outside government, etc. In the sense that we hopefully will not have to rely on things like supermarkets, rely on exports, and rely on um, governing factors, external factors, and funding. The aim for me is to build the business to an extent where we are in full control of the ingoings and the outgoings, in the sense that it's direct with the consumer and taking out any red tape practices. So what I mean by that is something, for example, like Red Tractor works for a lot of people. Red Tractor, though, only exists for the very fact that you need to provide an assurance to the masses. When I first started my shop business years and years ago, people would ask if our farm was Red Tractor, and I would say no, and they would be a bit surprised. They would feel that was a bit of a slap, a bit of a statement of saying we're not the same quality. But then when I actually told them what Red Tractor is doing, it's an assurance. Same as if someone uses my website now, or used to come in my old shop, or comes to the farm, the assurance you give them is the personal touch, the contact, the knowledge, the time. Um, so all Red Tractor's doing is en masse giving people a standard they can trust. And there's nothing wrong with Red Tractor. This is not what I'm saying. But every farmer would do better if they didn't have to use something like Red Tractor, and they will then become their own assurance level. Every dairy farmer could have a milking parlour where they can sell direct to the public, as long as the regulations and all the quality and all the environmental health issues and stuff are the same. Then what's the problem? Because Red Tractor costs money. It costs money for people. So farmers being more able to be self-reliant builds a more resilient system. It builds a better platform for farming, and a better platform for you, the public, who are buying the product. How nice would it be if you could buy what you buy directly from your farm? Everything, even if it's the lower bracket of what you class as farm produce, even even a company that makes biscuits, or even the company that makes the very basics, like basic whole wheats or oats. This is all something that's possible. There's a massive gap of profit in the centre that disappears between the farmer and the supermarket. So, for example, someone like Tesco will make billions and billions of pounds profit a year, yet won't pay the proper amounts for its produce. And obviously, 60 odd billion profit it was or something. And most of that will be food. And where's that all gone? It's not come to you, the consumer, who you believe still paying higher prices, and it's not come to the person who produces the food. So it'd be nice if farmers and the public got their hands on that 68 billion, should I say, even billion. So one thing that makes a huge difference if you want to help farmers is find your local farm shops, your local online stores, your local milk parlours, your local fruit and veg stalls, your local everything, cheese, whatnot. Sometimes, in some cases, you'll pay more. And in a lot of the cases, that doesn't matter. The very fact of the matter is we pay too little for our food anyway. And if you can help a farm and want to help a farm, that's something you can do. The irony is, the busier we are on the farm with our products, selling the meats, selling milk directly from a dairy parlour, etc., the more chance that farm then has of building that side of its business. And then suddenly you get to the stage where those savings can come directly to you as a consumer. So, for example, on my website that I run, I have times where I do special offers because I can afford to do them cheaper because I've got the setup and the costs are already sort of spent a lot of the time. So I'm not sort of got ongoing overhead. And actually, me selling, say, a pig to the abattoir for X amount, I don't know, so let's say you sell a pig for £150, but you can butcher a pig and sell it direct to consumers for £350, you can still do significantly better deals on that pork to the line to where you get to the same as you'd be getting for selling it whole. And, it's my time and things. As long as I cover those costs and packaging and things, it works out fine. So we hear this a lot about supporting your local business and supporting your local farms. But that's really important because what we don't realise is since sort of the 70s and the 80s, since supermarkets have took over the country, really, we have had our diets changed. We've had what's available change. We don't even realise that we are sold to in such a way that we have decided that we think we know what we want, and supermarkets have just created this whole thing. Being a champion of British produce shouldn't be something we're embarrassed about. It should be something we all do and we all prioritise because we all need food, air, and water every single day. And food's more important than what trainers you buy, or it's more important than what coat you buy. It's more important than what car you've got. And it's not our fault as a nation because this is how we're sold to in this society. But the main fundamental issues are we are happy to spend a lot more money on things we don't need than we're happy to spend on the stuff that we do. And we're all guilty of it. And I'm not saying that I am clean as a whistle in these things. We all like stuff and we all, want some new gadgets or we all love our televisions and whatnot. But there's going to come a point where with these new things that have been announced, say the tax bills for farms, if this doesn't get reversed by 2026, even if the Labour government do go out and a new government comes in, we've still got a significant chunk of time of farmers dying between 2026 and 2029 at the very least, where farms are going to be sold to pay the inheritance tax bill, and paying that bill will result in farmland having to be sold because farming isn't profitable enough or isn't viable enough. So what we really need to be doing in these next 3 years, at the very minimum, is relearning what we think about food, where it comes from, and what we're doing. Relearning provenance and importance and why. Question why. Farmers need to become their own assurances to the public, and we need to be able to trade with the public directly more. We need to start a food revolution where people want to go out and actively search for the best and the local and the quality. It shouldn't be a duty to support local farms, same as because we appreciate that some people out there do want to use supermarkets and it suits them, but there is a slight duty there in the sense that if use it or lose it's going to be a case. And one of the easiest ways for us to survive this turbulent time, either short term or long term, will be if farms are more profitable. So there are multiple ideas that I've got buzzing around my head. I'll be really interested to hear yours. One I have thought about would be a farmer's premium on products in supermarkets, because we can't just stop supermarkets. That's not going to be possible. It's not something you can change overnight. But if you're using a supermarket, always buying the best, always buying the British, and vote with your wallet, because that's all that supermarkets really care about. So that's fundamentally how you can do one thing there for supermarkets, is by focusing on what products you buy from those supermarkets is really important. But as well as that, you can get to the stage where you start finding your local farms, because actually supermarkets, you're going to struggle to find a local farm selling tinned tomatoes and toothpaste and deodorants and things like that. And they're all sort of what you class as essentials. And I think it's about being realistic, and it's a bit like a fad diet, something you do for 2 weeks that's like a crash course diet. It's not going to work and be sustainable. So I think that doing small changes like finding a local greengrocer and just buying a veg from there, but sticking with the supermarket for everything else, or find a local butcher, etc., find a local cheesemonger, or find a website that ticks all the boxes. But remember, you as a consumer, you have the power. Everybody watching this and listening to this, you have the power to change what's going on by just buying the right produce, voting with your wallet, because that's really what these big corporations care about. That's fundamentally what they care about. So if you want to help farms, we need to be on social media. Follow all my socials. You probably already do if you're watching this. So you've got my YouTube at Cracking Yolks. You've got my at Radmore Farm TikTok, at Radmore_farm on X, and Radmore Farm Shop and Radmore Farm Insta and Facebook. I put a lot of things on there, nice posts, offers and things about my business, but as well as that, things like this will go up on there too. There's lots of other farms like me, so keep an eye on things like X, because I'm quite friendly with some farms on there and I do share their posts. But it's about being approachable as a farmer, so I'm happy if you want to message me, send me any questions or any thoughts or any suggestions. They're all welcome. I get enough bad feedback to have anyone just being nice, so that's fine by me. So really, that's how you can help. That's how you can help. There was a lady recently, someone who is on X. I won't say any names, but she'll know who she is if I say this story. She said to me that she's always been quite an advocate of British produce, and she's really involved on X in the current story of the inheritance tax. And she said her partner, husband for years, has always been quite, not necessarily anti-farm, but not too bothered, quite pro-Labour. So I think was quite happy to go along with Labour's ideas on the farming inheritance tax, etc. And as time's gone on, even he has come round to go, hold on a minute, he's seen the stories, he's heard from his partner, he's starting to sort of come round to the idea of what farming's about. And the other day, for the first time in his entire life, went to a butcher's to buy his produce, and that is astonishing. I mean, that's the kind of win we're looking for, because it's baby steps. Like I said, it's not like a crash diet. You haven't got to go, right, today I'm only using my local this, local that, and we yeah, that isn't sustainable. And actually, building a resilient food supply steadily, where a business grows organically and can cope with the demand and can just sort of have a phase where they have a changeover period to being reliant on supermarket income to being more uh, dominated by direct consumer income, is going to make a massive difference to farming. It's something I've done for nearly 20 years, and it's really, really important. And it gives me the outlets to do such things like this as well because I'm involved with the public. There's a lot of farms out there who are massively struggling. Times are hard, and they don't get enough for their produce. Um, Farmers don't earn minimum wage, and they're lucky if they make a profit. So what we need to make sure we're doing is we know that money's out there floating around between us, the farmer, and you, the consumer. There's a pit that's being taken from every process, and a lot of them only exist purely because the supermarket have the dominance that they do in the chains and the way uh, they buy low, sell high, and supermarkets have their place. And some people love supermarkets, and that will never change. But we really need to make sure we're focusing on our food and making sure that our food security is paramount, because if farmers can't afford to pay these inheritance tax bills, we're going to run out of farmland because it's going to be sold. And the people who can afford to to buy farmland are not farmers. So you'll end up with more of the people that the public have been told these bills are for. You know, the only people who are going to be able to afford to buy farms are going to be people who are significantly richer than farmers. So we're either going to end up with a nation of tenant farmers or farms owned by big corporations who are just doing schemes that aren't going to be growing food, and they're just going to be profitable investments. And we're back to where the Labour government are trying to stop us from being. It's ridiculous, really, isn't it? So, wow, it's a long video. I've waffled on for about 20 years today. So yeah, this is really nice to just say this video could have been 10 seconds long. Like I said, just buy more British, buy from your local business. But excuse me. But the thing is that it, there's, there's layers of information in there that you might not have thought of, and there's layers of nuanced areas where specific details are quite important, and you might not have thought of it from this way. So I hope this helps. So I really appreciate it. Have a great week, and yes, keep following the farming, and I'll catch you again soon. Cheers. Thank you.